Welcome back to Midnight Grappler, Animals, home of Flub Nation. I'm your host, Lan, and with me I've got two men hunting for gold in the cold, wintry forest. Salt, Keigen, how's the hunt going?
Cold.
It's really hot here. I can't.
Yeah, you two Californian boys aren't ready for the Hokkaido winter. I'll tell you that much.
Whoa. I mean, no, that's true. But you know what? There was gold here. Salt's closer to probably some real gold panning. You know, he could go do it right now.
You're fairly close to like the area for the gold rush, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So last week we covered Asadora by Naoki Urasawa. This week we are covering Golden Kamuy by Satoru Noda. This was one that came up during our batch of nominees choosing process. It was Salt who very emphatically suggested this one. Salt, what made you do it? What got you itching to read this book?
Handsome and muscular men are a recurring element of Noda's work. He has voiced his distaste for Bishonen-styled manga and has stated that he draws without compromise the beautiful bodies of men. No, I found that later. It's off the Wikipedia for Satoru Noda.
That's so
good. And
sorry, this is a no twink zone. From here on out, if you're a twink, get the hell out of here.
I know, but like I hate Bishonen. I'll show you how to draw hot guys. So when I read the book, that kind of took me by surprise. I was reading, I'm like, oh, this is really gay. Because I had watched the movie on Netflix first, and the movie is shockingly good, especially for a Netflix production. It doesn't look like the Full Metal Alchemist or the other like really sad anime manga adaptations they've done. Like it's got really nice costume sets, very little dodgy CG, just a really well done film. It just got renewed for a sequel that's going to be a series, so I'll be watching that soon. That was why I recommended it originally. And then reading the manga, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is also extremely homosexual. So that was kind of like my emotional journey I took.
Yeah, this is like Beau Travail, but in Hokkaido. Really, if you think about it. Yeah,
exactly.
And Keigen, you've read this before, or is this your first time?
No, so I had purchased it on Comixology Unlimited, not Unlimited, on Comixology at some point, because Guy is always saying it's so good.
Before or after the downfall of Comixology?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how many volumes. I think maybe the first 3 I had bought, like they were on some $2 sale or something like that. So I bought a few, and then I never read them. And that was because Guy was like, this is great. Yeah, this is really good. And so I was like, okay, Guy, I believe you. And I just like a lot of the things that I believe Guy on, I never got around to it.
Nice.
And so I knew of it, but I hadn't read it yet.
This is another series where I own all of it, but I've read like a third of it.
So I do all of it? There's like 30 volumes?
31 volumes. I own all 31 volumes. All 31 volumes are currently sitting on my shelf right now.
That's crazy. You're kind of a lunatic, man. That's so many.
It is.
No, that really puts into perspective.
Listen, for context, I did get most of it secondhand.
Okay.
Someone on Marketplace was selling, I think, the first 23 maybe, okay. 23 volumes. So I was like, sure, why not, right? Like, if they're selling it for that much. And then by that point, I think only 24 or 25 volumes had come out. So I was like, you know what, sure, I guess I guess I'll keep it going, and then it ended.
That's crazy.
I like to imagine the seller saying to you, like, hey, look, this series is good, but be forewarned, there's not a lot of twinks in here.
Salt, I'm going to tell you right now, your internet has been crapping out quite a bit. So all I heard was there's going to be a lot of, and then it just ended.
Same.
So
and it was good.
I didn't know how to react.
I
didn't know how to react because I don't know what the fuck he said.
We'll let the reader fill in the blank.
Yeah. You know, in the recording on your side, at least it'll be there. It'll be there.
That's really fun. And then you could just use my laugh from you coming clean for the joke. That was the reaction you deserved, Salt.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, let's do a quick intro into the book before we start getting to, our deeper thoughts on it. So yeah, this was written and drawn by Hokkaido-born mangaka Satoru Noda. It's the follow-up to Noda's first unsuccessful hockey-centric manga, Supina Marida. This was serialized from 2014 to 2022 in Weekly Young Jump, and it was supervised by Hiroshi Nakagawa, a professor and Ainu language linguist from Chiba University. For more context, Nakagawa has been studying the Ainu language and culture since the 1970s. This is set in early 20th century Hokkaido, Japan, so this is during the Meiji era. It follows Japanese military veteran Suichi Sugimoto and the young Ainu Asurpa as they quest to find gold. This was adapted into both an anime as well as a live-action movie last year, which was the thing that Salt watched, as well as a follow-up TV series that just came out this past February. That's pretty much it for the quick rundown. Where do you all want to start? Actually, let me ask you a question. What is your familiarity with Japan's indigenous cultures?
Keigen, you want to go first?
I got none. Zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salt?
I am dimly aware of Japan's indigenous cultures through their organizing efforts to protest against the presence of American military bases on Japanese land, because I've read a fair amount of articles about how our American soldier boys love to get drunk and run over and rape people. And surprise, surprise, a lot of those bases are always near indigenous lands because the Japanese government doesn't really care about the indigenous people. So you've got tensions in multiple directions, but that's all, relatively modern post industrial history. Yeah.
So if usually that stuff is around Okinawa, so it's about the Ryukyuan cultures in that area. The Ainu culture aspect of it, it's very interesting because prior to this book coming out, there really wasn't that much of a focus or heavy focus on the culture of the Ainu people, even in Japan. But this book has been pointed at as the flashpoint for what people are calling the Ainu boom, which is a renewed interest in Ainu language and Ainu culture. It's, for as much as this book is about, a guy and a girl going to find gold, this is also a book that is, I would go as far as to say, an explainer manga for Ainu culture. The explainer manga note is something I'll keep coming back to. Because this is a very informative book. I think for someone who's not familiar with that period of Japan's history, and just, Japan's culture in general, I think this does a pretty good job of pointing a light on various elements of both indigenous culture and also Japanese culture around that time.
Yeah, I think one of the funny things is, Salt's immediate thing being like, this is a very homosexual comic. My reaction is like that's obviously true, but it's also very much in the same kind of DNA as a dad comic. Like, there's a lot of dad history here that would be like nodding, yeah, this is right, this is correct. Oh, I'm happy they're referencing that kind of stuff too.
There's definitely some dads reading this going like, oh, he's not using the right model of gun. That's not the right rifle they would have used during the Sino-Japanese War.
I still appreciate the reference though.
Yeah. You know, he made an effort at least. Yeah, this is a seinen manga, so it is made with an older audience in mind, and you know, it doesn't shy away from nudity, blood and guts, especially the blood and guts. But yeah, the dad manga. That's an interesting way of putting it, because we've been talking about dad movies and dad TV shows.
The other historical quirk that a lot of people might not know a lot about, that I didn't know a lot about, is the Russo-Japanese War. That's not touched on at all in an American high school history class, even a better history class, right? Like, I can't tell you anything about the stakes of that war other than, you know, speculation.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to see much of it in this volume, but this does go over a lot of that, those relations between Japan and outside countries, because again, it wasn't just the Russians at the time, but also the British and also the Americans that were playing a pivotal role in Japan's political dealings at that time. But yeah, for someone that isn't familiar with Japanese culture at all, I think this is a pretty good first step even into understanding that.
My question is, first of all, have you read past volume 1, Lan?
Yes, I have. Like I said, I've read like a solid third, so up to like volume 8 or 9.
Yeah. Does this, I feel like this kind of comic, you know, whether it's made by a Japanese creator or made by a Western creator, you know, when you set it in the past of like a lesser known war like this, I feel like there's two routes that are kind of taken. And there's the one route where you have something you want to say about that era. And then you have the other route where you're setting the story in that era because it's not as explored, and it's got some cool aesthetics. Do you feel like this cleanly falls into one of those categories?
No, I would say it's a bit of both. Noda himself has said that, you know, one of the genesis points for the idea of Golden Kamuy comes from his own great-grandfather's involvement in the Russo-Japanese War. But, you know, with this manga dealing a lot with elements of morality and, you know, like, what does it mean to be a moral person in the context of everything that's happening here? We see it even in this volume. You know, I don't think it can cleanly fall into either of those categories.
Yeah. I don't know. I ask because I'm reading about a Japanese soldier in World War I as a heroic, brave protagonist feels a bit like reading the same type of story featuring a German soldier in World War I. It's like, I know it's not World War II, but you know, the circumstances that led to that are still there.
Yeah, I mean, the Russo-Japanese War was like right at the turn of the century, like 1904, I think. So this was right before we really got to see the worst of Japan on the global scale. You know, but it's not to say that Japan wasn't already engaging in imperialist behavior and activities. You know, by this point, they were already dealing with colonization across Asia, but it's weird because it doesn't we follow Sugimoto as a hero because he is the protagonist of the book, right? But I think the book also, even in this volume, does a pretty good job of saying that he is not necessarily a good person, and even he knows that. You know, he says, "Oh, I'm not a murderer, but I'm not like a good person." There's a point in this book actually where Asurpa's talking about people that go to hell, and Sugimoto's reaction to, you know, hearing that he might be someone that goes to hell is like, "Oh, sick, awesome, yeah, that's exactly what I expected." There's
a nihilism there.
It's weird. It's not quite nihilism either, because there is a drive that is pushing him to do everything that he's doing. You know, like there is a genuine love that is pushing him into you know, going after this gold, right? But at the same
the
time,
woman he loves.
Right. But I think, it's also the fact that he is not a war hero. Like, he was charged dishonorably for killing an officer that, he didn't agree with. He, very early on, it's established that he is almost a monster in some ways, right? Almost to a mythical degree. So yeah, they build on that in future volumes, and we do see more of that.
I have such a wild deviation. I need to say this.
Go for it.
I was trying to look up the uniforms, and then I was looking up uniform details, and I found this Instagram account where this guy does like Lego figures as like historical military uniforms.
Oh,
and
no.
This can only go. This can only go in
Big
great
Kanye
directions.
West fan over there.
But he has a Kim Jong-un Lego figure, which is awesome.
Oh, wow. But hold on, is it accurate though?
Sick.
I'll send it to the chat, but that was pretty
I
tight.
need to know if the hairpiece, is that a custom? Did he use a custom? Because if he used a custom for the hairpiece, that would be pretty sick.
I'll let the guys weigh in. Sorry to derail, but this was very important.
It was pretty fun.
Okay, this better be okay. New minifigure in stock.
And Stocky sells them.
That means it's for sale.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, wow!
This is funny. This
wow,
is good.
It's really
okay.
good.
Wow.
I don't think that's a custom mini. I don't think that's a custom.
No, it is
hair.
custom made.
The hair?
The hair is
That's
definitely
what
custom. Yeah, I've never seen that hair on a minifigure before. Now, this is Il, right? Not Un?
I think it's Kim Il Sung. I misspoke. My bad.
Oh, Kim Il Sung. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's definitely a custom piece for sure.
Worldwide shipping. PayPal payments. Hashtag
PayPal
Nevabrick. Hashtag KNDR. Hashtag North Korea. Hashtag North Korean. They really know. They really know.
Hold
buyers.
on. The last hashtag is hashtag Lego. Can't forget that one.
Right.
All you Lego lovers, if you happen to come across this one,
There's got to be an intersection of North Korean and Lego in the marketplace. We've got to be able to find that. That's amazing.
I'm sorry to derail, but that was very important.
That's really funny.
That's the core of this podcast, derailing randomly. So, what do y'all have to say about the art here?
Keigen, you go first.
Thoughts.
I think, my favorite stuff here is when it gets weird. I like the bear. I really like the detail of the bear versus everything else. Love that. That's always fun. The bear seems really scary because of it too. It's just like breaking the art style is fun. And then I mostly took screenshots of things. I didn't take notes reading this.
Good use of shadow on the bear, actually.
Yeah, and
a lot of different parts.
Yeah. The bear looking like a real bear is very fun though. And then I think my favorite panel of the whole thing is the end of 8 with the fire, when they're cuddling by the fire once they finally successfully get it lit, is so funny. All that stuff is really good. So I prefer it, I think, when he is really leaning into making everything look more exaggerated, cartoonish. But the general competency all around is very good. And I think this is kind of maybe the platonic ideal of manga art, where it jumps between the two really well too. You can have just a scene where characters are staged talking to each other, and it's okay, this is cool and normal. And then you can also do weird stuff, do more comedic bits, more stuff like that. I think that's kind of, this just does all that kind of what I expect from manga. It does it really, really well.
Yeah, this is digitally drawn, so there are a lot of not corner cutting, but you can see where he's tracing backgrounds, you can see where he's using references. There's a part one of my favorite panels is actually when he's eating the squirrel brain.
Mm-hmm.
And like the style changes, and you can really see, you can imagine like the picture that he's referencing or that he's using as reference, because it's a very like sheepish. He's got like no visible lips, but he's got like a few teeth showing. It's really, really good. And then you got a Serpa in the background, which looks much more hand drawn, like a more exaggerated face. Like there's a lot of small gag panels that I think he does really, really well at, letting loose. Like when a Serpa's using the pencil, and then immediately after it
So
cuts
funny.
to Sugimoto doing the wiggle.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I could see where Noda used like a poser type program. And that's really the only criticism I have is I can, there's certain panels, like particularly when there's a figure in a dynamic pose with a lifted or low camera angle, like that, those are hard to get right. So I get why he's using the program, but it is jarring because he is a really skilled artist. So you'll turn the page and you'll go, oh, that's a poser panel, right?
Yeah.
But I feel two ways about it. Like I don't want to harp on it too much because Noda is extremely talented. He doesn't need it, but I know he's doing it to accelerate the workflow process. And I know how terrible it is to work on manga, meet manga deadlines. Makes sense.
Like I think it does a really good job of hitting that balance between making the book come out on time while also not feeling like it's slapdash or rushed. Like I do like the use of stamps for drawing like the forestry or the forests, I should say. And even just using forest pictures as reference for the backgrounds. I think some of them are just pictures of the forest taken, posterized, and then added. Yeah, there's a whole thing in Photoshop you can do to do that. But yeah, like it is noticeable if you're looking for it. But at the same time, like the balance between his hand-drawn stuff and then the stuff that he is doing that sort of like mixed media-esque work with, it's good. Also, there's some really good backshots in this book.
Yeah.
A lot of good male backshots. Yeah, for sure.
Who's that guy? Go ahead.
No. Who's the guy? Who's? Are you thinking Tom in Finland? Is that what you're thinking about?
No, I was gonna say, who's that guy that Ramon was always hating on? The guy who always used the poser program.
Mikkel Janin?
No.
George Kambade?
No,
it's Human Target, right? But who? I can't remember
Greg
his name.
Smallwood. Greg Smallwood.
Maybe Small. I think this guy's name was. I'm getting like a Patrick. Is that
Oh,
right?
Zurcher?
Patch Zurcher. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that
Honestly,
guy.
all the names we named, fuck those guys.
you
Well,
are
not
correct,
Yanin.
yeah.
Yanin is probably fine, but the rest of them are goons.
But with Zurch and Smallwood, I feel like the difference between them and Noda is if you asked them to draw that stuff without the program, they would just throw their hands up in the air. They wouldn't be able to do it. Like Noda can draw without the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that. Like, I don't know. Oh no, what's his name?
We're all forgetting
it's gone
names
from
now.
my brain right now.
This is real
Not
hours.
a good episode for names.
Who's the artist?
Context.
He's on Gotham Central. He's on
Michael Lark.
Yes, I'm thinking of Lark.
Yeah, Michael
Because
Lark.
Lark's. I mean, Lark the last few years has like gotten deathly ill from COVID and like a couple other things. Just a lot of things went crazy for him, and he changed his output and like the way he draws a lot. I'm really interested in seeing Lazarus come back to see, because like you're saying, Salt, you know. I think like Smallwood, he genuinely sees artistic, like his artistry is like magazine clipping to a degree, you know, like he sees that as his artistry of like finding the right poses and figuring out how to compose things into a panel. And it's like, yeah, like that isn't not the thing, but like I want to see figures drawn. And yeah, there's like a progressive thing for Lark across Lazarus too, where it's more and more he's using the like 3D sculpting. And it's like he is sculpting these characters in a 3D program and then tracing them in a lot of situations. And it's like this weird thing. I don't know. It's gotten different. And like I said, I'm excited to see how it is because he's like worked on these issues for so long that maybe he is actually drawing them and doing more of that. But yeah, so such night and day difference between that, like the vast majority of this comic and that kind of thing.
Lan, what are these back shots you're talking about?
There are quite a few in there, you know, because the whole crux of this book is that there are a bunch of guys with tattoos on their, you know, front and back.
Oh, that like literally their back.
Yes,
of
backspace shots. Backspace shots.
Oh, you tricky Canadian, you.
Yeah.
Have you never,
you nasty little troll? That's what that was.
Shake my head, guys, because get your head out of the gutter.
On that note, we do see a lot of like tied up, restricted men in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder what he used as reference for that one. You know,
this is buds, man. This is homies.
Yeah, on that note though, I do like Noda's approach to the male form in this book. Like we talked about the Bai Shonen thing earlier, but like these are burly guys, you know, that the Noda's drawing, and we do see a bit of it here. We'll see a lot more of it later on in this series. But you know, I do enjoy the comfort with which Noda draws these men. Like you, how do I go about saying this?
You appreciate the male body.
Yes, a man who appreciates the male form. You know, it makes for some really great art. You know, like when Sugimoto's in that bath and he gets up and you see the scars on his on his back. You know, it's not quite playing to either the male or the female gaze, but it's playing to a gaze. That's for sure.
Well, if that's
at least one of them.
If we're gonna call that a sexualized angle or take on Sugimoto, that's really the only page where we have that. Like Sugimoto is clothed, and there's not so much of that looking at him with desire throughout a lot of the book, right?
No, it's really just the steam and the little bit of ass we see in that.
Yeah, it's that one page, and then all the other nude men we see. I think what I really appreciated was they weren't like these ideal male models. Like a lot of them were kind of gross looking dudes.
Yeah, some of them were like a bit schlubby. You know, there's a bit of a visible gut on one of them that they tie up.
Right, they're balding. They have they're all gross in their own way. It's good.
Yeah, and again, this is more you'll see much more of in future volumes. I'm really just saying this to entice you, Salt. Is that if you like the male figures in this volume, you're gonna love them in future volumes.
Sorry, Salt, go ahead and ramp up your horniness for the men of this book.
Go ahead and buy 30 more volumes. Go buy all 31.
Go
31
check out
volumes.
Marketplace. And
I'm looking respectfully. I'm reading Golden Kamuy on the bus and pointing at my zipper being all the way up, so everyone knows I'm not touching myself to it.
Good job.
Good. That's good. That's good.
I'm proud of you.
No more bus wanking. Those days are behind me.
I only do it in the taxi now.
Yeah, I only do it in the Uber. I only do it in the self-driving car. The Waymo, yes, that's the self-driving car, right?
Okay, all right. Shout.
Yeah. Mooning into Waymo.
I have. Okay, this is aside. This is aside from real things about the book. But I hate the Shonen Jump app. I hate it.
You read this on the Shonen Jump app?
So no, and that's why I
Okay.
hate it. Right? I've read hundreds of chapters of manga on the Shonen Jump app. It's fine. It looks good. And I continue to be subscribed to it because it's a ridiculous deal. Even if I don't read any manga that month, I'm like, I could have, right? It's like $3 or something. Maybe it's $5 now. It's very little for Infinite. But because Golden Kamuy, so this book is rated mature, which means they won't carry it on the app. They won't let you read it through their app reader. So I have to read it in the browser. And as I've complained about in the past, I hate reading. I mean, I hate reading anything you have to turn a page.
You hate reading. You're very anti-reading. We
also
know.
that, but no, I hate reading in a browser. It's a terrible experience. Every browser reader is terrible, and Shonen Jumps is particularly bad as well. It just like takes forever to load between the chapters, and then it logs you out after like not long enough. Very annoying. So I hate you, Shonen Jump, for doing that, for making those choices. Just make a way for me to be able to download it. Like, send me a link, whatever. I hate it. It's stupid. Let me make myself an adult in the Shonen Jump app.
I mean,
even.
really, it's Apple's fault.
I know,
if it weren't
but
for Apple,
it's still like other apps got around that. They've figured it out, and Shonen Jump can't for whatever reason. So okay, that's number one. However, I did get a great gift. I don't remember which chapter this
another
was on.
iPad.
No,
never mind.
No. I don't remember which chapter this was on, but because I was forced to look at it on the browser, I also saw the comments on different chapters.
Oh, there's comments.
Okay, so there's this comment. I'm going to read the comment first. It's just one great thing about this manga is learning about traditional survival methods used in the Meiji era. Okay, that's cool. That was commented by Fat F-A-H-T Puss 69. So shouts to Fat Puss 69 for
shout
commenting
out Fat
that.
Puss 69. Yeah,
That made reading this slightly more worth it.
Thanks, Fat Puss.
That was great.
Thank
Fat
you.
Puss 69, a goat for real. But I hate reading in browsers for real.
Okay, yeah. It's gonna be great next week when we cover a book that we've only been able to get digitally so far. Unless we'll figure that out next episode. I want to talk about the explainer manga because that comment actually does touch on a point that can be made about this book. Is like there's a lot of it's a very meaty book in many ways, and one of the ways in which it has a lot of meat on its bone, we'll say, is the amount of stuff that gets explained. For me, I love when we have like an action scene, and right in the middle of the action scene, there's a caption that's just an explanation of like the thing that's happening. Like
they're sliding down the side of the mountain. It's like, oh yeah, they hit an ice shelf. This can happen in the winter.
Yeah, like when a Serpa is like trying to fight for her life using a poison tipped dart, and then right in the middle of it, there's a caption that says, "Oh, the Ainu used poison tipped arrows to hunt animals back in the 1900s." It feels like the kind of thing that should break the pacing of the manga, but like it feels so natural. Like it the way that it's even positioned on the page really makes it easy to take a pause and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's nice. It's good trivia when it's about like hunting and survival tactics and whatnot, and I think when it gets to like Ainu culture, it's a great way of feeding that information to you without making it feel like an explainer. Like sometimes with explainer manga, an issue, quote unquote issue, that you can have is that it gets very dry with how it explains stuff. Like the pacing can take an absolute nosedive when it gets to a point where they're just explaining how a thing works for like a page or two. I keep coming back to Oishinbo, which is basically an explainer manga about food, where there's this plot that's happening, and then all of a sudden for 2 pages It's just going over the food, how it's prepared, how the recipe is, like how the recipe is proliferated throughout the years. And, that stuff on its own is very interesting. But, if you're really there for the story, then it's going to feel dry. But I don't think Golden Kamuy runs into that issue, at least for me.
Oh yeah. I completely agree. Like Noda has to juggle so many different elements. Like he's got the overarching plot, obviously, and there's the immediacy of whatever foe or element the characters have to face in each scene. He's got to get all these details right on the costumes and the environment. He's got to manage some good pacing with the dialogue, the expressions. He also manages to vary the panel shapes and panel rhythms. And then, like you said, he'll inject this random fact into a scene, and it feels really right. It actually enhances the flow. It's really impressive that he pulls it off so well.
It feels like a good annotation. On the action that's happening.
Yeah. To some degree, I almost think that they would maybe work better as annotations, but I also just came off reading like 2 books in a row that had a lot of annotations. So I'm like used to flipping to the back and doing that nonsense.
Yeah, that's the thing for me is like, I was thinking about that, like, would this work better if these moments were just put in the back as annotations? And honestly, I don't think so. Like for me, the act of going back and reading that annotation, that would break the pacing more than just reading it in the like. This was an issue I had with Saint Young Men, a very annotation heavy book where I think I just put off reading the annotations until I just got to the end of the volume, because I was just like, this is just too much flipping back and forth. If I miss the context, I miss the context. Sure, I'll come back to it later. But this was I'm fine with it. I think it's good.
Well, Keigen had mentioned, I think it was Keigen mentioned the pencil page, and like when Sirpa gets the pencil, and I think what I really like about that gag specifically is how self-aware Noda is, like, and self-aware to a healthy extent, where he's interrupted the story to talk about the price of a pencil at the time and how strange that would be for an Ainu person. But then, it's this self-awareness that, I've disrupted the story flow. This is a kind of an oddly pedantic thing to throw in there. Then he has that panel where Sugimoto does the
wiggle trick,
the wiggle trick, and you get the really funny faces, and that's like a great way to bring you back in. There's almost a musical rhythm to that I really like.
Yeah, the balance of comedic bits is also done really, really well here. Like when Sugimoto and oh god, why am I forgetting his name? Wow, this really is the podcast.
Forgetting all the names episode.
Jesus Christ,
where are the names at?
So where they're trying to come up with a fire, and then it cuts to Sirpa standing outside the hut, and she's just going, "I really want to eat that hair."
Yes,
it breaks up the page like right through the middle, but it's such a good interstitial.
Yeah. And I think that's my thing too, right? With this, everything is fine. It works perfectly. I don't think there was ever a point where the explaining got in the way. I think there's maybe a different way to do this, that you could do it the other way with the annotations too. But it would be a different story. It would be a different, the presentation is embedded. The explainer is embedded into it in a way that, like, I don't know. I think maybe there were a few times, nothing that I took a note on or anything, but there were probably a few times that I was just like, this is kind of sloggy. But even then, I think it immediately after, if it ever felt like that, it was something funny or stuff started happening anyway. So it's like, oh yeah, this is the pacing's really, really good ultimately.
Yeah, like I don't remember noticing that kind of like pacing drop in the volumes that I did read, but I do wonder, like, when you're 23 volumes into a book and you're still doing the explainer captions, does the audience get tired of that, or by that point have you explained everything that there actually is to explain where you don't have to do that? That remains to be seen by me. So
we got to talk to Guy about that one.
maybe in a future Tastemaker's grab bag when I recommend Golden Kamuy in its entirety.
Volume 9.
Yeah.
That's when we'll know you're reading it at least.
Yeah, exactly.
I have one more remark about the structure of this manga, and it's that it was only until I had opened this and thought about where the story might go that I saw the similarity to both Pokemon and Dragon Ball. And maybe there's a name for this particular trope, but like, you know, in Pokemon, it's, I have to go out and explore the world and catch all 150 Pokemon. And in this story, it's, I have to go out and explore the world and catch and murder and skin all 24 tattooed criminals.
Yeah, it's like a hobby manga, except instead of toyetic monsters, the collectible here are actual monsters. Actual monsters.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple innocent guys in there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. This is the Meiji era police system we're talking about here. I was thinking about that, you know, like there are a lot of shonen-esque elements in this comic, and this really goes back to the whole debate about like, how do you classify manga? You know, like what makes a seinen manga, what makes a josei manga, and like what makes shonen, right? Like Akane Banashi, which is a manga about a young girl learning the art of rakugo, is classified as a shonen manga. But you know, here there's a good mix of the more mature elements. Like it's a good smorgasbord, I'd say, of like genres and even just storytelling types and beats. Like you know, we know what the main plot of this book, or the main driving force for the plot of this book, will be by the second chapter. Like the end of the second chapter, you've got everything that you really need to in order to understand who the main characters are, who the main players are, and where things will go. More characters will be introduced, of course, but like in terms of what the push for people to keep reading the series is, you've got that by the second chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the first chapter is also a pretty long, extended first chapter, but still.
Yeah, I was thinking about age range on this too, partly because I was pissed off that I couldn't read it in the app and download it and read it that way, but partly because I like that quote about McFarlane drawing for the 14-year-old, carving a swastika into his desk, not knowing what it means. You know, that like that energy that McFarlane draws for, and like, you know, it is for teenage boys, and I like the distance between in Golden Kamuy between the like description of the manga and who that was for, and then versus the actual content of the manga and who that's for. Like I think if you were to give them the Wikipedia, you know, not summary but like description of the thing, then like, yeah, this is a dad comic probably, you know, between the explainer manga aspects, the historical stuff, everything. That
as it gets
more
like homoerotic too, it'll start appealing more to the dads for sure.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Yeah.
But then like if you actually open it and you see this sick stuff that's happening, it's like, no, this is kind of for teenage boys. Like if you knew at least if they were able to flip through it or whatever, I feel like they would see something that's like, oh, that's cool. This seems dope. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? I realized the other comic parallel this has is Tintin. Yeah. Okay. A lot of similarities with Tintin. You know, the explainers. Well, yeah, no, not. I don't know if I'd say
culturally
sensitive.
Culturally sensitive, not racist.
Yeah.
But no, the homoeroticism.
Thankfully, we'll never see Sugimoto in the Congo.
Oh no, never mind. I don't think it's woke anymore.
No, I get what you mean by it's woke, but no, but I think also specifically that like there are no like grown women in Tintin. Like it's all like men and old women, and in this case, it's a little girl instead. Like I think that there's no women who could be potentially sexualized. Makes it similar too.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question for you, Salt, because I thought about this while I was reading this. What aspects of a thing make it a pirate story? Is it the ship? Do you need a ship?
Oh, we're gonna need a whole episode for this. But
I'm
what does that have to do with Golden Kamuy?
Because they're looking at they got a map. They got a pirate. They got a treasure map.
They got gold.
treasure
You
map.
know, it's the
They got
classic
gold.
El Dorado plot. You know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the
You
short
shift this over
answer.
a couple. It's an Nathan Drake plot. You know.
The
Indiana
short
Jones.
answer is I will say
adventure.
this does scratch the pirate itch.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're asking if
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
count this as like pirate story or pirate adjacent, yes, I'll give you a yes. Now I see what you're saying.
I figured it was probably that kind of thing, but I was like, this probably hits something. Hits Salt with some kind of a back shot here.
You mentioned shut up. You mentioned the boat. There is no boat yet, so it's hard. That's where it gets real debatable. You need the boat.
yeah.
okay.
I think you need it. Yeah. That makes
But
sense.
we
You know,
won't spoil that element for you.
But, nothing against One Piece. I think One Piece is great at what it does, but it doesn't appeal to me in the same way that this does. And I think for something to really feel like pirate stuff, you gotta have a sense of it's dangerous and it's disgusting.
Kind of scumbaggy.
Yeah, like this has that more than One Piece does. One Piece, at least the early stuff that I saw, it feels relatively bloodless. No one is quite as vile as in here. Like, I think as PG as you can get with a pirate thing would be like Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean. But everyone, like, everyone smells bad in that, right? And so, like, a lot of people smell bad in this, and that helps.
Yeah, maybe
It's a good
if
debate.
Luffy
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just a bit more of a dirtbag, killed a few more people, was
Right.
generally much more harder to stand around from what's the word for smell?
Sense.
Aroma? Scent?
Oh.
No, aromatic
Stank?
scent. No,
Aromatic.
aromatic just makes it sound too good. Like, how does it smell bad? Like a stenchy kind
Odor?
Ooh.
Odorous.
We got to get Dr. Ali Lukes here to help us with that.
I've heard her name quite a few times over the past few weeks. I don't know what her deal is, and we're not going over that on this podcast.
That's incredible. The most online person I've ever met, and well, Salt wouldn't know because
I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know the deal with Dr. Ali Lukes.
Yeah, I'm
I've
not going
just
to
been
explain
hearing
it.
the name.
I'm not explaining it.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, I think if we're close to wrapping this, Keigen's question of is Golden Kamuy a pirate comic? I would say, as the pod's foremost pirate expert, yes, Golden Kamuy counts as a pirate comic.
That's fun.
Okay. That's good.
I like that.
We really do need more homoerotic pirate comics. There just
We
aren't
do.
enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you got to go to the TV show realm for that.
No,
and,
no.
Your options there are
no more.
So
Oh.
yeah, Golden Kamuy, good book. Maybe this year is the year that I actually finish reading all 31 volumes that I own. Any last thoughts before we wrap things up here?
My main reaction to the book was I could read all of this for the podcast. I probably won't read it all on my own though. That's my
No,
Yeah.
I think I realized while reading this, I'm like, I don't want to read all this for the podcast.
I'm
Actually-
gonna rewatch the Netflix movie and then watch the show.
I'm going to watch the Netflix movie after I'm done so we can have some really good heated discussions and discourse about them not hiring Ainu actors to
There we
play
go.
the Ainu
There we
characters
go.
in the movie.
My friend who's too woke. There he is.
Yeah, I had that problem when I was in Montreal actually last week.
You were too
Something
woke for
happened.
Montreal?
Too woke for Montreal, apparently. Too woke for the Quebec. So it is what it is. But yeah, before we wrap things up, as always, the show is made possible thanks to contributions from listeners like you. If you want to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals. $2 gets you episodes a week earlier than the public, as well as the ability to vote extra hard on future episode topics. You want to be the electoral college for Midnight Grappler Animals? $2 a month. $5 a month gets you not only that, but our entire backlog of bonus episodes and Patreon exclusive series, such as Pornography, which went over Daredevil Born Again, and The Last Infighter, the show with the name that changes every week, that goes over, and/or the Star Wars show with a name that doesn't change every week, as well as exclusive channels in our Discord server. You can also support us through morale by giving us a good review on your podcast app of choice. Please, only a good one, though. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell people that you don't even know. If you see something online and you're like, damn, this person could really use a good episode of Midnight Grappler Animals, just link them the pertinent episode. You know, if you see someone talking about Green Arrow, if you see someone talking about Golden Kamuy, and they're talking about all the homoeroticism, they're talking about all the guys whose names they can't remember, point them to this episode. If you got questions, comments, suggestions for the show, you can email us at midnightgrappleranimals@gmail.com. And if you want to find the links to our Discord server and our social media pages, you can find all that in the description of this episode. Now it's time for Tastemaker's Grab Bag. Who's going first?
I can go first.
All right.
I'm going to recommend 3 movies. They're all very different.
Movie pilled. Damn.
Yeah, I'm watching a lot of movies. I was curious about Diego Luna's career outside of Star Wars, so I finally watched Y Tu Mama Tambien. Beautiful movie.
Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Really good. I finally watched Tombstone because everybody is in that. What a stacked cast. Incredible performance from Val Kilmer. And then I caught friend of the pod, Lexi Alexander's newest film, Absolute Dominion. It rocks. Check it out. Go watch it.
Nice. Awesome.
That's it from me.
Keigen.
Speaking of that, that interview is awesome. If you haven't already listened to it, go listen to it again, actually. Go ahead and listen to it again. You did so good. What a good
now you get to be Obama. This is great.
That was so good.
Well, no, this is like Obama giving the medal to Ellen DeGeneres now.
Oh, I get to be Ellen, even better.
Yeah, you get to be Ellen.
That's what I always wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, because Obama's only given medals to Ellen DeGeneres. He's never given medals to anyone else.
To no one else.
Himself.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Keigen. I appreciate that.
And then I am finally playing Immortality, the game by Half Mermaid, whatever studios. Came out a couple years ago. It rocks. If you know nothing about it, perfect. If you just look it up. It's only on it's on Netflix if you have portable devices, so it's still, I don't think it's on Switch yet still. So you got to play it on console probably. But it is awesome. I spent most of my night last night playing it. Because as soon as I started, I was just like, oh, the way it's it feels like it's figured out interactive storytelling stuff in a way for me, and that's not even a good way of pitching it, and I'm happy because I don't think this game doesn't deserve a pitch. Just go play this game. It's really, really good. I won awards and stuff, and I'm sure some people were annoying about this game when it came out, but it's sick. If you've escaped playing it so far, play it. Use this as the excuse. The rehearsal is going. This show is amazing. I just watched the newest episode, and nothing like it. It's not, obviously the season's not over yet, but literally there is not anything like this show. It's incredible. The episode 4, if you are watching it, I just watched episode 4, and you probably understand why I can't stop thinking about it. Incredible show. Watch it. I don't understand anybody who would even try to binge watch that show. I couldn't possibly sit through 2 episodes back to back anyway. Incredible. Fantastic.
I tried explaining the rehearsal to my coworkers the other day.
Yeah.
And I realized it's very, very difficult to do so without offering like years and years worth of context.
Yeah, it's like the only way to explain it is like, hey, have you watched Nathan For You and you know how weird that gets? Okay, imagine he made a whole show that's weirder than any of the weird bits, and it's also better.
I think what I settled on was this is a show about a guy who's trying to prevent plane crashes by getting the co-pilots to stand up against captains, and then that got to them. So
yeah, I do. I mean, it's a weird show because I'm like, I do think you need some of Nathan For You under the belt to on board.
I think for the first season especially, you definitely need.
Incredible show though. Nobody's doing it like him. It feels like new art, and I've said this on this podcast before. It feels like he's inventing a new kind of art, and it's incredible.
It's the first Strand type show.
Crazy. And then like my favorite comic I've been reading, what is so Hello Darkness is this anthology by Boom. And I'm not really recommending every story, which I know it's an anthology. It's an anthology, you know, there's some gold, some shit in there. But the Clunin and Ennis stories in there are buck wild. I hope they collect them in their own. They won't. It would be really nice if they collected just their thing. I think it's called The War on its own. It is fantastic. I love it. I'm really like I'm jazzed on it. And I'm very excited they're working on another thing together, like an actual series for the first time. So I'm very high on that, and it rules. So I think normally they're like the last story of the single issues, and then in the first volume they have like the first half in the trade. Really good though. Really, obviously Clunin is incredible, but they just like pull the exact right stuff out of each other to make like a really good thing. Yeah, really good. I like it.
Nice.
That's it for me.
I'm gonna recommend two very Golden Kamuy themed recommendations here, because I haven't really been watching much or doing much aside from work this past week. First thing I'm going to recommend is Ainu Mosir. It is a movie that I believe is still on Netflix. It follows a young Ainu boy as he navigates the culture while being a member of modern day Japanese society. It's pretty good. It's very down to earth. If you're interested by the Ainu stuff in Golden Kamuy, I'd recommend that. And then the second thing I'm going to recommend is Beau Travail, the classic Claire Denis film. It's you know why I'm recommending this. If you've listened to this episode, you know exactly why I'm recommending this. Go watch it if you haven't already. It's a good movie. All right, that's it. That's it for me. That's it for this Tastemakers Grab Bag. That's it for this episode. You know, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking around. Come back next week where we cover Shadow over Innsmouth, drawn by Go Tanabe. I keep getting the title wrong, so if I messed it up that time, oh well. But you know now to read that before next week, I guess. You can find it.
Find it on Hoopla.
And yeah, it's on Hoopla. Sure. We'll go over that in the episode. I'm sure we will. My words will come back to eat me. And as always,
keep on grappling.
Keep on grappling. You know, I think I've started to become an Alex Garland hater.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
I actually liked, I waited a while to watch Civil War, like months. And I
saw
like,
someone saying that if it wasn't called Civil War, it would have done better and people would have gelled with it more.
I have no idea. I think people they had too many thoughts about that movie before it came out. It was already cursed, but like removed from all that, it was I don't know. It like really hated journalists, and that was cool. That was my takeaway.
It really hated journalists. Wow.
Yeah, it had incomprehensible politics about the states, but it didn't need to. On top of that, like I think it coming out in like whatever March or April, and then like we lived through 2 attempted assassinations and an insane political cycle in general. It was like Americans have incomprehensible politics. Like,
but this is a British guy.
Yeah,
fair. Dealing with that.
And like I always have beef with British people trying to talk about American politics, but again, it wasn't even about that. but it's fine. I'm like
It's
I've
okay.
said
Once
multiple times.
Valnet buys out Alice Garland's production company, everything will
What's
be okay.
making you a Garland hater, Lan?
I've been watching his movies.
Oh, well, why are you doing that?